Jay Verma moved through life like a phantom. He was a man burdened by shadows. Once he stood as a shield against terror. He served with distinction in India's elite anti-terrorism squad. His mind was sharp, his instincts honed. He possessed a unique skill, a secret gift. Jay could enter photographs. He could step into the frozen moments they held. He could walk through memories, see what others missed. This power was both a blessing and a terrible curse, a window into the past that often brought more pain than solace to his already troubled soul. His days with the ATS were now a distant memory. He had walked away from it all, the uniform, the danger, the constant dance with death. He sought a quiet life, a life away from the screams and the explosions. But peace was a luxury Jay Verma could not afford. His psychic ability, this strange power to navigate the captured instances of time, was a heavy cross to bear. It linked him to events he desperately wanted to forget. Every photograph was a potential doorway to a past he had tried to bury deep within the recesses of his mind. He lived a solitary existence now. The world outside his small apartment felt alien. The laughter of children, the chatter of crowds, it all seemed to belong to a different reality. His reality was one of quiet contemplation, of battles fought within his own mind. The gift, or curse, depending on the day, remained. He rarely used it. The cost was too high. Each journey into a photograph chipped away at his resolve, at the fragile walls he had built around his heart. But some things, some powers, cannot be denied forever. The city of Mumbai hummed around him, oblivious to the storm brewing within this one man. Jay was a relic of a past conflict, a soldier without a war. Or so he thought. His skills, both as a trained operative and as a man who could see beyond the veil of time, were lying dormant. They were waiting for a spark, a catalyst. A new horror was about to unfold, and the shadows would call to Jay Verma once more, pulling him back into a world he had sworn to leave behind. The year 2010 was etched in Jay Verma's soul with fire and blood. It was the year of the Pune bombing, a day that began with promise, with the warmth of love, ended in unimaginable horror. Aisha, his fiancée, was the center of his universe. Her laughter was his favorite song, her smile his brightest dawn. They had planned a future together, a future filled with simple joys, a home, a family. Those dreams, however, were turned to ash in the blink of an eye by a terrorist's cruel design. Aisha was at the German bakery that fateful day, a popular spot, bustling with life. Jay remembered their last conversation, her voice full of excitement talking about meeting friends. He was on duty, a city away, unable to protect her. Then came the news. An explosion, chaos, desperation. He raced to Pune, his heart a cold knot of dread. The scene was one of devastation. Smoke, screams, the smell of burning. He searched frantically, his hope dwindling with every passing moment, every unrecognizable face. He found her, or rather, what remained. The vibrant life he knew had been snuffed out. The bombing didn't just kill Aisha, it killed a part of Jay. The light in his eyes dimmed, the world turned grey. His psychic gift, the ability to enter photographs, became an instrument of self-torture. He would gaze at her pictures, yearning to step in, to hold her one last time, yet terrified of reliving her final moments. The guilt was a relentless companion. Why her? Why not him? These questions haunted his waking hours and his sleep. The Pune bombing led Jay to leave the ATS. He couldn't reconcile his duty with his profound loss. The system he served had failed to protect the one person who mattered most. His gift felt like a mockery. It could show him the past, but it could not change it. It could not bring Aisha back. So he retreated, locking away his badge, his gun, and the memories that tore him apart. He became a ghost, haunted by the ghost of the woman he loved, a love lost in fire and smoke. 15 years had passed since Pune. 15 long years of Jay trying to piece together a semblance of life. But on this particular morning, May 20th, 2025, terror decided to revisit his world with a vengeance. Mumbai, the city that never sleeps, was jolted awake by a deafening explosion. A crowded marketplace, teeming with morning shoppers and vendors, became a scene of carnage. The news flashed across screens, stark and brutal. Twisted metal, shattered glass, the cries of the injured. It was a dark echo of a past he could never truly escape. The initial reports were chaotic, but as details emerged, a chilling pattern began to form. The choice of target, a civilian hub, the timing designed for maximum casualties, the sheer ruthlessness of the attack. It all bore an uncanny resemblance to the Pune bombing of 2010. For Jai, watching the unfolding tragedy on his small television, it was more than a resemblance. It was a sickening déjà vu. The same cold dread he felt 15 years ago gripped his heart once more. It was as if the same dark hand was at play. His old instincts, long suppressed, began to stir. The analytical mind of the ATS officer, the part of him he thought was dead, whirred back to life. He saw the subtle signatures, the operational style that only someone deeply familiar with such events would recognize. This wasn't just another random act of violence. There was a connection. He could feel it in his bones, a cold certainty that prickled his skin. The past was not dead. It was reaching out, its tendrils wrapping around the present, threatening to drag him back into the abyss. The city's authorities were scrambling. The ATS, his former colleagues, would be on high alert. But Jai knew something they didn't. He knew the feel of this enemy. He knew the pain they inflicted. And he still possessed his strange gift, the ability to walk through the frozen moments of a photograph. The thought of using it again sent a shiver down his spine. It meant confronting his deepest fears, his most painful memories. But the echoes of Pune were too loud to ignore. Mumbai's shattered dawn was a call to action he couldn't refuse. Zara Khan was a force of nature, an investigative journalist with a reputation for tenacity and a nose for truth. She didn't just report stories, she unearthed them, often at great personal risk. The Mumbai bombing was more than just a headline for her. It was a personal affront, an attack on her city, her people. She was determined to dig deeper than the official reports, to find the real story behind the devastation. Her editor knew that once Zara sank her teeth into something, she wouldn't let go. She was driven, fearless, and incredibly sharp. Her investigation quickly led her to whispers of a connection to the old Pune blast. She delved into archives, interviewed survivors, and connected with retired officers. One name kept surfacing in the periphery of the Pune case: Jay Verma, an ex-ATS officer who had abruptly resigned after the bombing. An officer rumored to have unconventional methods, almost an uncanny intuition. Zara was intrigued. She believed that understanding the past was key to unlocking the present mystery. She needed to find this Jay Verma. Tracking down Jai wasn't easy. He lived off the grid, a ghost in the system, but Zara was persistent. She finally found him in a small, unassuming apartment, a man who looked like he carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. Their first meeting was tense. Jai was guarded, reluctant to dredge up a past that had cost him everything. Zara, however, was persuasive. She wasn't just after a story. She felt the same chilling connection between the two bombings. She spoke of justice, of preventing more suffering. Slowly, hesitantly, Jai began to listen. Zara's passion reminded him of a fire he thought had been extinguished within himself. She didn't know about his psychic ability, not yet, but she saw something in his eyes, a flicker of the brilliant investigator he once was. An uneasy pact began to form between the driven journalist and the haunted ex-officer. Zara needed Jai's insight, his experience. Jai perhaps needed Zara's relentless drive to pull him from the shadows. Together, they might find answers neither could uncover alone. Section 5. Through a glass, darkly stepping into frozen moments. The decision to use his gift again was agonizing for Jai. Each photograph was a potential portal to pain, a fresh encounter with ghosts he had fought so hard to lay to rest. Yet, the fresh horror of the Mumbai bombing, the faces of the victims, mirrored Aisha's fate too closely. Zara, with her unwavering determination, had provided him with a stack of photographs. Crime scene images from the new Mumbai blast, and older archived pictures from Pune. He spread them out on his small table, the glossy surfaces reflecting his own troubled face. His first foray was into a photograph from the recent Mumbai attack, a chaotic scene near the epicenter. He closed his eyes, focused, and the world around him dissolved. He was there. The acrid smell of smoke filled his nostrils. The screams echoed, raw and immediate. He moved through the frozen tableau, a silent observer. He saw details invisible to the naked eye in a static image. A fleeting glimpse of a suspicious figure turning away just before the blast. A specific type of debris not initially reported. The experience left him drained, trembling, the emotional toll immense. Next, he dared to revisit Pune. He chose a photograph taken minutes before the 2010 explosion, a street scene near the German bakery. Stepping into this one was like walking through shards of his own broken heart. He saw Aisha, vibrant and alive, laughing with her friends, unaware of the impending doom. He fought the urge to scream, to warn her. He forced himself to observe, to look for clues, for anything that connected that day to the present. He noticed a similar insignia on a bag carried by a nondescript man in both the Pune and Mumbai pre-blast scenes. A tiny, almost insignificant detail. The journeys were harrowing. Each immersion into the past, whether recent or distant, chipped away at his carefully constructed defenses. Zara watched him, concerned by the visible strain, the pallor that overtook him after each session. She didn't understand the mechanics of what he did, only that he emerged with information no one else could obtain. He shared his findings. The recurring figure, the insignia, small pieces of a puzzle, but vital. The whispers from the past were growing louder, pointing towards a conspiracy deeper and more insidious than they had imagined. Section 6. Cracks in the Shield. The hunt for the inside man. The discovery of the recurring insignia and the shadowy figure in both bombing photographs sent a chill down Jai's spine. This wasn't the work of isolated fanatics. This was organized, coordinated. The precision of the attacks, the way the perpetrators seemed to anticipate security measures, pointed to a terrifying possibility: a leak, a mole buried deep within the anti-terrorism squad itself. Someone on the inside was feeding information to the enemy, betraying their own, betraying the nation. It was a sickening thought, but one they couldn't ignore. Jai and Zara began to work with a new, desperate urgency. Zara used her journalistic contacts to discreetly inquire about personnel changes and internal reviews within the ATS around the time of both bombings. She looked for patterns, for anyone who might have had access to sensitive operational details. Jai, meanwhile, focused his photographic explorations. He examined pictures of ATS briefings, of planning sessions, and photos of personnel who were active during both periods. He was looking for a face, a gesture, a misplaced item that could betray the traitor. The strain on Jai was immense. Entering photographs of his former colleagues, men he had trusted, searching for a betrayer among them, felt like another form of violation. Each session left him weaker, more disoriented. But the clues began to mount. A particular officer who seemed to be present at key moments before security lapses. A coded message half hidden in a photograph of a desk. These were not concrete proof, but they formed a disturbing mosaic of suspicion. The shield, the ATS, had cracks, and something venomous was slithering through. They cross-referenced Jai's findings with Zara's research. Names began to surface. Officers who had access, motive, or displayed unusual behavior. One name in particular started to stand out: Senior Inspector Alok Sharma. He had been involved in the Pune investigation, albeit peripherally. He had recently been transferred to a key position in Mumbai just months before the latest attack. The pieces were falling into place, painting a grim picture of deception from within the very organization sworn to protect. The hunt for the inside man was narrowing. Section 7. The Serpent in the Fold. Betrayal's bitter sting. The confirmation of Senior Inspector Alok Sharma as the ATS mole sent shockwaves through Jai. Sharma was a man Jai had known, though not closely. He had always seemed dedicated, a model officer. To think he was capable of such profound betrayal was almost incomprehensible. The evidence, pieced together from Jai's visions within photographs and Zara's relentless digging, was undeniable. Sharma had been systematically leaking crucial intelligence, enabling the terrorists to strike with deadly precision. First in Pune and now in Mumbai. The serpent had been nesting within the fold for years. As they grappled with this treachery, another more personal blow struck Zara. Jai, exploring a recent photograph linked to the Mumbai bombers' suspected hideout, saw a familiar face. It was faint, partially obscured, but unmistakable. It was Zara's younger brother, Samir. He appeared to be willingly associating with the very men who had brought carnage to their city. Zara had always been protective of Samir, who had been drifting, easily influenced. But involvement in terrorism? The thought was a dagger to her heart. Zara was devastated. The journalist who fearlessly confronted danger now faced a crisis that threatened to break her. Her own brother implicated in mass murder. She reeled from the revelation, disbelief warring with the undeniable evidence Jai presented. Jai, despite his own burdens, tried to support her. He understood betrayal. He understood loss. He knew this fight had just become intensely personal for Zara, in a way neither of them could have predicted. The enemy was not just an abstract entity. It now had a familiar face, a familial tie. The twin betrayals, Sharma from within the ATS and Samir from within Zara's own family, intensified their resolve, but also complicated their path. They couldn't simply go to the authorities with Sharma's name without irrefutable proof, as he was well connected and could easily destroy evidence or disappear. And dealing with Samir's involvement required a delicate touch for Zara's sake. The serpent had not only infiltrated the shield of the nation, but had also coiled itself around Zara's heart, its bitter sting poisoning everything. Section 8. Countdown to 0 hour. A desperate gamble. The revelations about Sharma and Samir galvanized their investigation. They knew the network was active and likely planning another strike. Jai pushed himself harder, diving into more photographs, searching for clues about the next target. He revisited images of Sharma, of the bomber's known associates, even grainy CCTV footage Zara had managed to procure. The visions were becoming more fragmented, his energy reserves dangerously low. Each entry into the photographic realm felt like he was tearing a piece of himself away. He was walking a razor's edge. Through a series of harrowing immersions, Jai pieced together fragments of conversation, glimpses of maps and coded references. A major financial hub in Mumbai, a specific date just days away. The terrorists were planning something even bigger, something designed to cripple the city's economy and instill widespread panic. Sharma's role was to disable specific security protocols at the target location. Samir, it seemed, was a pawn, a low-level operative being used for logistics, likely unaware of the true scale of the devastation planned. There was no time to waste. They couldn't risk approaching the compromised ATS directly with Sharma's name yet. They needed to catch him in the act, or with undeniable proof linking him to the imminent attack. Zara, using her investigative skills, began tracking Samir's movements, hoping he would lead them to the terrorists' current base of operations or provide a way to intervene before it was too late. It was a desperate gamble. Their resources were limited. They were two people against a well-entrenched conspiracy. The clock was ticking. The tension was palpable. Sleep became a forgotten luxury. Every shadow seemed to hold a threat, every ringing phone a potential disaster. Jai knew he would have to use his gift one last time, perhaps more intensely than ever before, to get the final pieces of the puzzle, the exact timing, the precise method of attack. He could feel his power waning, the connection to the photographs becoming fainter, more painful. But the thought of another Pune, another Mumbai marketplace massacre, spurred him on. The countdown to 0 hour had begun. Section 9. Silence of the Gift. A new dawn, a heavy peace. The final confrontation was a whirlwind of adrenaline and danger. Following a lead from Jai's last agonizing photographic journey, they pinpointed the terrorists' staging ground and the exact time of the planned attack on Mumbai's financial district. It was a desperate race against time. Jai and Zara, armed with their knowledge and a desperate hope, managed to relay critical, verifiable information to a trusted senior ATS officer, bypassing Sharma's sphere of influence. This officer, initially skeptical, was swayed by the chilling accuracy of their intelligence. A swift, covert operation was launched. In the ensuing chaos, as ATS commandos stormed the location, Jai confronted Sharma, who was attempting to flee. The mole, cornered, revealed the depths of his greed and twisted ideology. Simultaneously, Zara found Samir terrified and trapped, realizing too late the horror he had become part of. She managed to pull him away, saving him from the crossfire and certain arrest, a bittersweet act of sisterly love amidst the surrounding turmoil. The main bombing plot was thwarted. The city was saved from another catastrophe. But the victory came at a profound personal cost for Jai. The final intense use of his psychic ability to pinpoint the last-minute changes in the terrorists' plans had shattered something within him. As the dust settled, as Sharma was apprehended and the network began to crumble, Jai realized his gift was gone. The ability to step into photographs, the power that had been both his torment and his most potent weapon, had vanished. It was as if the universe had demanded a final, ultimate sacrifice. He felt a strange emptiness, a silence where there once were whispers from the past. In the aftermath, Jai found a measure of peace he hadn't known in 15 years. Aisha's memory was still with him, but the raw, consuming grief had softened, replaced by a quiet sense of closure. He had faced his demons and in doing so had avenged her and saved countless others. The silence of his gift was daunting, yet also liberating. He was no longer the Shadow Walker. He was just Jay Verma, a man who had looked into the abyss and returned. Zara, having secured Samir's cooperation with the authorities for a reduced sentence, stood by him. A new dawn broke over Mumbai, heavy with the sacrifices made, but promising a future where Jai, though changed, could finally begin to live again.